Hello, I'm Terry Williams, President and founder of Panache Career Strategies. Helping people make valuable contributions to their organizations is my passion. In this lesson, I will share with you how to enhance your presence with 10 tips to understanding corporate needs for better relationships. A professionalized workforce understands that success depends on the collective efforts of its representatives. This is a very misunderstood area these days. Our workforce is filled with people that are smart, decisive, innovative, and dedicated, but perhaps do not feel that distinguishing yourself with an established culture is essential to display respect and attentiveness to clients, employees, and peers. Current corporate workforce challenges include generation gap differences, diverse work cultures, and client expectations, which all impact employees' ability to demonstrate professional and executive presence. Professional presence has received a lot of attention over the past 2 years. Understanding that professional presence flows from the chief executive officer throughout the organization to the front lines with customers is a key for success. The Center for Talent Innovation shares that the key areas for presence are appearance, which is 10%, communications, which is 23%, and the most impactful area, which is gravitas, at 67%. We're often asked if there's a starting point with regard to executive and professional presence. Questions typically run the gamut from, how do I know if I have it? To, what if I think I have executive and professional presence, but I can't be sure? How do I measure it? We have 10 things that we suggest you ask yourself in regard to your executive and professional presence. Just to get our senses moving a bit, I will first show you a number of images of people with professional and executive presence. And then I'll show you some images of people who, unfortunately, are limited in their professional presence skills. So let's get started. So, wow, we saw a little bit of everything in those images. There was a range from inappropriate dress and appearance, bad usage of cell phones during meetings, yelling at peers, falling asleep, lots of issues to deal with, which unfortunately detract away from the image that the company is hoping its representatives have. So let's begin with the first pillar. First impressions has basically one tip that we offer, which is to make a memorable first impression. First impressions also include resumes, interviews, and meetings. It is very important that you are attentive to all areas in which a person will have their first view of you. It is that first meeting with a client, a new member of your team, a new boss, the first call, the first voicemail message, or the first visit to your LinkedIn profile, and many other situations that dictate first impressions. Chances are you probably need a little help in a couple of these areas, most do, and if you do, contact us. We have some best practices and definitely some tools that can help you to be more attentive and to express the really first impression that you'd like to ensure you're displaying. Pillar 2, which is communications, has 6 tips that we recommend. Tip number 2 is present business materials in an effective and persuasive way to potential clients or individual customers, large and small groups. Tip 3, we suggest that you ensure people want to meet you and gravitate towards you when you enter a room. Tip 4, utilize the appropriate guidelines of electronic and virtual communications. Tip 5, understand the protocols of being either a host or a guest at a business and corporate event, anywhere and with anyone. Tip 6, understand body language, both the silent signals and reading body language in others. Tip 7, converse easily with diverse groups of individuals and move from individuals to networking, making connections. So tip 2, let's focus on that a little bit. Do I present business materials in an effective and persuasive way to potential clients or individual customers or to large and small groups? The ability to present information clearly and concisely is a critical professional leadership skill. Today, business people spend significant amounts of time making presentations to divergent groups. A focus on your preparation and presentation authoritatively should include impromptu talks and full-scale PowerPoint productions, ensuring that you understand the keys to develop and deliver expert presentations, create a compelling, focused message, include persuasive pacing and authoritative delivery techniques, responsiveness to an audience, and redirecting nervous energy into positive energy are all imperative for success. Tip 3, do people want to meet me and gravitate toward me when I enter a room? Ensuring that you instantly connect and leave lasting positive impressions at networking events is key. Your actions should include making yourself memorable, maximizing your personal brand, and dealing with difficult social situations. Tip 4, do I realize the appropriate guidelines of electronic and virtual communication? As emails, voicemails, and texts are replacing face-to-face business encounters, productive messaging becomes critical. Effective connection remains paramount in your efficiency and your speed. Strengthen your professional and executive presence through communications and across all virtual platforms. That means telephone, email, PDA, managing social media accounts, inclusive of Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Tip 5, do I understand the protocols of being either a host or a guest at a business and corporate event anywhere and with anyone? Understanding that business and corporate events, in particular dining, are not about the food and drink is paramount. The ability and confidence to dine anywhere with anyone is vitally important in today's business world. Ensuring that your professional and executive presence is on point during every corporate dining occasion, whether you're a guest or a host, is essential. Your skills should include table manners, wine decorum, and toasting, dealing with difficult foods, common dining mistakes, and settling the bill if necessary. Tip 6, do I understand body language? Both the silent signals I read in others and that I send myself. Our strongest impressions are conveyed visually. Unconscious facial impressions and expressions, involuntary movements, and body gestures all speak louder than words. Understanding the subtle and nuances of body language requires skills in two essential disciplines. Number 1, reading signals people send and managing personal nonverbal messaging. Interpreting body language is essential to controlling your own ability to connect, build rapport, and strengthen your professional and executive presence. Tip 7, do I converse easily with diverse groups of individuals and move from introductions to networking and making connections. Maximizing networking opportunities at meetings and conferences is key to success. There are a full range of techniques to make connections and build relationships effectively, including making an entrance, mastering the art of the introduction, successful mingling, small talk, remembering names, handling food and drinks, advanced preparation, and follow-up pointers. Okay, so we're moving on to section 3, which is gravitas. Gravitas, remember, represents 67% of your executive and professional presence. And for gravitas, we have 2 major tips. Do you understand conduct and business situations? And do you consistently project a professional image at business functions? So let's get to the first one, tip 8. Do I understand conduct in business situations? Professional conduct that sustains existing corporate culture is imperative for success. You should be attentive to a range of office environment and boardroom situations, including responsibilities of both attending and chairing meetings, creating a positive impression, visiting or receiving clients, building and maintaining a good reputation, and the unspoken rules of work. Tip 9. Do I consistently project a professional image at business functions? Every first impression counts, as we mentioned earlier. Whether meeting a new client, team member, or boss. For example, from an introduction to a phone call, you are constantly judging others and being judged. For your success, ensure that you understand how first impressions are created, charisma, and your misinterpretations.